Danny. Oh God, we're here for Halloween 5. We're sorry, it'll be short, I promise.
Yeah.
And Danny can make fun of me because I'm looking like a big asshole supporting this movie.
No, that shirt's good.
It's great. I only got it because Daniel Harris is on it.
And here we are with another depiction of a mask that is definitely not in the movie.
Not in the movie, not at all. But she is, and that's great. My wife knew that, so she supports my crush on Daniel Harris, which is totally okay because
it's totally okay.
She's actually older than us. We grew up at the same time. It's okay. We talked about this.
We talked about this in our last show about our mutual celebrity crush on Danielle Harris that evolved with our age as well.
Totally.
And I still have it.
Totally
Sorry,
fine.
I'm sorry.
Danny, give us our pumpkin spice latte of Halloween 5.
I have nothing to say about this movie.
Okay, and we're done. Halloween 6 is coming up.
Okay. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. As you can tell from our disdain, we think something of this movie. But let's get into it. Halloween 5 takes place 1 year directly after Halloween 4. The cast of characters from Halloween 4 are all back except if they died, obviously.
Right.
We got Rachel returning, Jamie, Dr. Loomis, Sheriff Meeker, and newly introduced a character by the name of Tina,
yes,
and some other auxiliary characters who are now being faced with having to deal with Michael's revenge. Michael has spent the year since being blown up in the mine shaft being cared after by a mountain man that found him floating down the river. A year being taken care of by a mountain man that he found floating down the river. So Michael, as soon as I guess Halloween ended and it turned into November 1st, deactivated. Because he comes upon, he escapes the mine shaft to float down the river right before they blow it to high hell so that he can float to safety wearing a very visible life vest. And he spends the whole year recuperating. The movie picks up a year later where he has now developed telekinetic powers with Jamie, who is now mute and has learned sign language in a year. And his sole purpose is to get her again. And she is now the only link between the authorities, meaning Loomis and Meeker, and Michael. But she's mute, so she can't speak, so she can't really help. But she gets her speech back. Michael tries to kill everyone who is in his way of getting, in his way of getting to Jamie. And that's what the movie is. He tries to kill everyone again and tries to get to Jamie.
It's almost as absurd as Halloween 3, but you just have disdain for it. So it's even more
There's just
absurd.
in the first description, I couldn't even get past that without Michael Myers floated down a river happened on this mountain man's setup because he's just this hobo mountain man living in the backwoods of Haddonfield.
Okay.
Michael comes upon him, starts to choke him, and then gets deactivated, just falls down. And it says 1 year later. So we are to imagine that Michael Myers has been under the care of this mountain man for a year, laying in the same coveralls What was he doing in like February? Like were they just like chilling? Were they just was he bathing him? Like, did he ever get out of the coveralls? Did he ever shit himself? These are the pressing questions. But we're to believe that 1 year has passed. The clock strikes midnight on Halloween. Michael gets reactivated, puts on the mask that was made for the Elephant Man, and goes down to kill his caretaker that took care of him for a year. First of all, this mountain man doesn't have a pot to piss in. He barely has any food, and he's going to take care of a big ass Don Shanks.
He's literally living in a shack down by the river.
He is. And he takes care of Michael, and he has a talking parrot, so that's fine. Anyway, that's how the movie
what the
begins.
fuck was the parrot? He kind of looks like a pirate.
Give me my birth, is what he was saying. And that's from Iron Man 2.
God. Yes, it is. Random. Yeah, that's our opening.
That's our opening, guys.
Michael Myers has been asleep for a year in a dude's shack. Somehow this guy has taken care of him and kept him alive. If there is some sort of human left in Michael, he got shot 30 times. He got blown up, yet he finds his way down the river.
No bullet holes.
No bullet holes. I mean, that's how he eats shit. I mean, at this point, I mean, I don't. None of it makes.
But maybe when he put on the mask, when he got activated, all the bullets, and they just popped out, because he's got the mask on now, so he's activated.
Okay, but and also, Myers tried to kill this guy. This guy's like, you know what? You're cool, man. Like, I'm lonely.
Yeah.
We'll chill for a year. It's
Why don't
cool.
you just hang out with me, dude?
Yeah. And it's been a year. And here
what was he
are.
doing in June? Because it was hot.
Yeah, I'm sure it was hot in Haddonfield.
And he's
Illinois.
just like,
It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot everywhere in June.
Yeah.
He's just chilling there in the shack.
Sweating in his fucking onesie.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. But I mentioned Don Shanks because that's our new Michael Myers going in with this theme of getting stuntmen to play Michael Myers. Okay.
And you ruined him for me. My latest view. I haven't sat down and watched this movie since I was a kid.
Don't say it.
And I'm texting Danny like, oh, I'm on Halloween 5 now.
Oh, man.
And guess what? This guy comes in with fucking Donald Jason's blockhead ass.
Don't say that.
And the whole movie is ruined from that point on because all I can see is blockhead.
Look, okay.
And this big oaf walking around.
No disrespect, obviously, to anybody who's ever donned the mask. Some were better than others. I will never, ever sit sanctimoniously and talk crap about a man who is literally the size of a house. Don Shanks, holy moly, that dude is a legitimate badass. I saw him at a convention when he was well into his golden years, and the dude still had veins popping out of his arms, way better shape than I will ever be. And this dude is legit. When he was in his, I guess it was his 20s maybe, or early 30s, he plays Michael Myers. George Wilbur needed hockey pads to play Michael to be girthy and big. Don Shanks, no pads. As a matter of fact, they wondered if they can make him look smaller somehow. It didn't work. When I said blockhead, Don Shanks is a big dude. He's a big dude. Compare him to Nick Castle, and there is absolutely no comparison. He's humongous. He was built, has long hair, and his head was bigger than anybody else's. So you get the most ridiculously sized Michael Myers mask that we have ever seen. I think the neck goes down to like mid chest, right?
No, the cowl is untucked throughout the whole movie, so it looks like somebody did a poor cosplay of Michael Myers and made their own movie with it. Basically,
What if you just trim it?
The cowl is wide open. You need to tuck it. You got to tuck your cowl, man. That's just 101 mask wearing.
You got to tuck the cowl, but it came down like right here.
And then the hairline is back way over here. And apparently this is all in the director who wanted to humanize Michael again. The director wanted to give Michael a receding hairline? I don't know. His reasoning is, I wanted to make him more human.
Fine.
I don't know how.
Let's make him more human by casting one of the biggest stuntmen in the world. Biggest. You know what I mean? Not to say that that the big stuntmen aren't human, but if you want to make them more human, I don't know how that was the choice, But here we are. We have Don Shanks playing Michael Myers.
Yeah, and he kills the mountain man that he lived with for a year.
Right off the bat. Like, you literally see a clock strike midnight.
So he kills this guy. He finishes the job from 1 year ago, even though this guy took care of him and a parrot. And
what were they doing in August? It's still hot.
August. Well, I mean, August.
It's all yours.
I mean, it was hot here in California. I kind of started Halloween shopping, so maybe that's
It may have been getting cooler. You think he's already? You think maybe he's like starting to breathe a little bit heavier? He's like about a month and a half out.
Sure. Yeah. The breath is starting to
yeah,
come.
he's starting to breathe.
Right, but we go with the power bar scenario, and he kills the pirate that he's living with.
Poor guy, man. Like, I mean, what a that's a thankless job.
You know what? Yeah, and this is like the character from Halloween 3. It's Walter.
It's Walter.
It's a payback to Walter, the nicest guy ever, taking care of somebody, taking care of people. That's just what we do. Even though he tried to kill me, it's cool. I'll let him sleep it off.
I have nothing myself, yet I will gladly share my nothing with you. Rest in peace, Mountain Man.
Yeah.
Like that sucks.
That sucks.
So it establishes right now that Michael is selfish, and this is a very petty Michael. Now it's called The Revenge of Michael Myers, so we know that he's angry. He's like, I got shot, I fell down a mine shaft, and now I'm mad. Mm-hmm. So he's out to get Jamie, who I said a little while ago, has now developed a telekinetic connection with Michael.
Oh, right.
Yes. They are connected mind to mind because of the touch.
So much so that when Michael puts on the mask for the first time, we see Danielle Harris
put on the mask. She pantomimes it. Yeah.
In her little bed with her monitor, brain monitor for her dreams. And she starts to put on the mask. She sees Michael's actions, and now she's doing it herself. And it's also revealed pretty quickly that she did not actually kill her stepmom.
She didn't kill her because she didn't finish the job. She just
didn't
stabbed
finish
her.
the job. So the evil is not totally passed on, or at least it's a watered down version.
Yeah, she got like the Diet Pepsi evil, which is like still good. It's just not Pepsi.
Right. It's not going to finish the job or quench your thirst.
So Jamie has been hospitalized, for lack of a better term. Kind of like a sanitarium, but it's like for kids that have survived traumatic experiences.
Yeah.
Right. It's like a children's hospital, but it's like a children's recovery hospital. It's and it's in a house. It's like a halfway home almost, which is kind of weird. So like, where did her parents go? Did they take off? Were they like, okay, you can go fuck yourself. You try to stab me, right?
They're mentioned in it because remember, she actually asked for her, or somebody, the nurse that comes in for her asked,
"You want me to call your mom?"
Yeah, you want me to call your mom. So that is what establishes that the mom did not die.
And Rachel says at one point, "Mom and Dad send their love." So we know that it's not a terrible fallout, but it's a fallout.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not joking. Jamie's mute now. She's mute, and she's developed how to. Which I think sign language is one of the most impressive languages to know how to do if that was not what you grew up signing. This 10-year-old, 11-year-old girl now is now signing, and she learned it in a year.
Mm-hmm.
What? Anyway, she's signing. She's signing. She's mute-ish, yeah. She's got like, it's like if you had like the worst case of laryngitis.
Yeah, she kind of whispers a few things. She has a silent scream, but then she's screaming at the dog, Max, which is like the cutest thing when you have a crush on the girl. But anyway, yeah, we're still on it.
It is pretty cute. I'm not gonna bust your balls. Right. Of course, it's cute. So we see familiar faces. We see Jamie. We see definitely Michael, a familiar elongated face. We see Rachel, who's introduced as being she's at Jamie's side. We see Loomis because when Michael kills his caretaker for over a year, Jamie goes through all of that and has hyper convulsions and starts losing it and almost like passes out. So her doctors and her nurses are trying to sustain her. They're about to stab her trachea because she can't breathe. Right. And who appears? No, it's Dr. Loomis.
Like always.
Here's the man. He's back in action. Who knows that Michael's alive. He just knows it. Body was never found. He also knows that Jamie can talk to Michael or can sense Michael. He knows because look, Loomis. The thing about Loomis is you're not gonna fuck with him. You're not gonna pull one over on old Sam, okay?
No.
He knows some stuff is up, so he stops the doctors from stabbing her trachea, saying that she will stabilize. It's alluded to that maybe Loomis himself wants Jamie to die. It's inferred that the town people know what Jamie did and don't want another Michael, so they're kind of against her. She's a bit of a ostracized black sheep of the town. If she wasn't before, she really is now.
Yeah.
Which sucks for an 11-year-old, man.
Again, we're on Jamie's side together.
You have to be on Jamie's side because, like, what does she do besides? I mean, she stabbed her mom, but like, okay, she stabbed her mom because Michael Myers touched her. You all didn't get touched by Michael. You don't know what it's like.
Yeah, but I'll play with this. I mean, we talked about the haunted house of Haddonfield from Michael's first kill. Yeah. Now his legend has kind of moved on. It's continued on, grown bigger, much bigger in Haddonfield. And now it's handed down to this little girl. So it continues through her, kind of.
But needless to say, life goes on and we continue. So the movie continues whether you want it to or not. We get introduced to a awesome second celebrity crush from the Halloween series.
Yeah.
For me personally, do you share it as well?
Yep, absolutely.
Old Tina, played by Wendy Kaplan, who goes by a different last name nowadays. Met her at the Halloween convention, 30-year Halloween convention, and is just a awesome person. I hope this goes without saying. Everyone from Nancy Loomis to PJ Soles to Charles Cyphers to Kathleen Kinmont to Sasha Jensen to Danielle Harris to Wendy Kaplan and everyone in between that I've met at the convention have all been awesome people. They're really cool in real life. It's hard sometimes because you're like, I grew up watching you do one thing and now I'm looking at you be a normal person. It's weird.
Yeah, it's so weird. That's why I said I can't meet these people because I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Like, I love that you did this on screen. Like, my crush of Daniel Harris and your crush of Daniel Harris for me it was never like a real thing. It's like I watch you on TV. We're of the same age. Cute for the age thing, but to me, I'm like,
yeah, it's not a real thing. It's not a real thing for me.
For me, I'm just saying on my side of this, like, it's cool to meet celebrities, but I never am like, right, such a huge like, I love your art, I love what you did, I enjoy it.
I get it.
Big thing on me, but I'm like, cool.
No, I get it. I just I guess it's the actor in me who wants to like know what was making him tick at the time.
Yeah.
You get, you see yourself, you live vicariously through these performances sometimes, especially if you have such a affinity for the source material. So we're introduced to Tina, like I said, who is confused a lot with Rachel's friend in Halloween 4, who's Lindsay, who you think is Tina, but it isn't. So this is a brand new character. Her name is Tina, and she's Rachel's really good friend. Also adores Jamie, loves Jamie, and Jamie loves her. This is important because remember how awesome Rachel Carruthers' that character was? How awesome Ellie Cornell was?
Yes.
Wouldn't it be awesome if we got another movie full of Ellie Cornell?
Yeah, and her relationship with Jamie, her little sister, and being the protector.
Expanded on that?
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
What was it, 15 minutes?
If that.
Into the movie, Rachel Carruthers is killed by Michael Myers. Gone. Unceremoniously, may I add. A stab in the chest when she is getting ready to leave to go see her parents up in the cabin. Something. She's going to go have a weekend.
Yeah.
She's going to go, and you know what? She deserved it. Frankly,
she did.
Sorry, girl.
Yeah.
You deserved it all. So she's getting
better.
She deserves way better.
Hashtag Rachel deserved better.
Yeah. This is a real hashtag, and Ellie Cornell has said it. She's like, it's kind of weird that I just kind of met. It's like Alice in part 2 of Friday the 13th. Yeah, she just survived the entire first movie. Not even the opening credits.
The only thing you can say about it is, okay, all bets are off, but you just killed a great fucking character. And for me, that made more sense in Friday the 13th. I don't think that was wasn't a
Right,
great
because
lead actor thing.
Alice was now Rachel.
Right, Rachel is a great, and this could have solidified her as this great horror survivor. She could have been on that realm of Laurie Strode, and
Or even if she doesn't survive, let her go to the end
Yeah,
swinging.
it
Like,
could
let her
have
go
been.
to the final.
it could have been really good. But it did take a step aside for Tina to shine through, and Tina has some great depth in this movie, and
I think Tina is
I think she
ano-
saves the movie. It's the only thing I care about watching is her and Danielle Harris get through this.
Yeah, and they're separated for a large part of it.
Mhm.
We see Danielle, we see Jamie interact with her again, and come to terms with her telekinesis. With is that what it is? It's like a mind meld. Is that
I don't know.
would you call it
It's the
telekinetic?
force between
I think it's like
like Kylo Ren
It's like
and-
beyond. It's like Farscape. No, it's inner space. What is it? War Games. What?
force the
It's the Force Awakens within your
the
Halloween
veil
mind.
of force. We're just gonna wreck on
The
whole thing.
Phantom Force.
Okay, it's the relationship between Kylo and
And Rey.
Ray. Thank
It's
you. Right?
it's the Force of Samhain.
There
There it is. There I
Force
got
of
it.
Samhain.
The Force of
Yeah,
Samhain.
I like that.
You've got it. Jamie's got it. Michael's got it. They talk. They see what each other. Actually, only Jamie sees what Michael sees because he doesn't see what she sees.
As
So
far as
one-
we know, he has no emotion, so we wouldn't know.
right. He has the emotion of being a selfish douche, killing the caregiver. I can't get over that, man.
The Mountain Man.
Yeah, the Mountain
Yeah,
Man.
Mountain Man.
What were they
deserve
doing in
better.
September? Were they getting ready to go back to school? Anyway, how stupid. I'm sorry. Rachel unceremoniously dies, getting ready to go on a trip by Michael, who has come back to have his revenge.
Blockhead.
Stop. What if Don Shanks sees this and like looks for me? You know, he'll kick
That'll be
kick
awesome.
my ass. I don't want that to happen.
But for me, when you say blockhead and then you see that mask, it's not so much.
It's
a
not
comment
him.
on him.
It would be a blockhead mask on anybody.
Except it makes him sound like an oaf, and then that scene where he's spying on Tina in the background.
So so he's gonna be the shape. They're trying to make him the shape again, but it's the worst shape.
Right.
Like as in like you're not being clever in your sneakiness. We
No.
see you.
Well, yeah, and then again, this is a point I wanted to make. This movie is the first movie that doesn't feel like somebody cared about Halloween and Michael Myers. This feels like a knockoff of Friday the 13th. You see the character that you want to see just kind of hanging out in the background, oafing around.
Yeah.
He literally breaks up a fucking tree branch, which I died laughing.
Oh
When
yeah.
I saw that, you see it between the two characters. He's just like storming around, and all I hear is blockhead in my head. And I see this.
You're gonna get me beat up by Don Shanks, man.
It's hilarious. Blockhead fucking takes out a tree while spying on these two girls, and you see him in the whole shot,
oh boy.
like clear as day. Like it. There's a few things like in the series you said like, oh, nobody has peripheral vision. There's no mirrors or anything,
Right.
but this is one like he's right there.
No, I mean, like, he's obviously there. He's right, and it's in broad daylight. I don't know if this is because it was a shot with this is a brand new director. He's is Dominique, and I cannot pronounce the rest of his name. He's a French director, and they have a DP who made the choice to shoot it very European. So it's going to be no backlights. All the things that we fell in love with 4, 3, 2, and 1. Are gone, meaning the moonlights, the soft glows, anything that was established by Cundy.
The whole thing feels like it's during the day.
Yeah, it feels like it's during the day, and then there's a spotlight on at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think it's such a disservice to everyone. There, it is dark. It is very dark, but it is like a lot of shadows, a lot of harsh shadows on a lot of these characters' faces. But what's even more ridiculous is how they shoot it during the day and ask or have Michael kind of maneuvering through the trees and stuff, and it doesn't work. It might work for something that's not named Halloween 5. It might, but for this, you have abandoned what we have fallen in love with as the scope and as the theme and as the allure of what makes a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
You've abandoned it on purpose. Okay. But you get what you get when you rush into production. Mustafa Akkad, the producer for movies from 4 on, If it's not Mustafa, who passed away, it's his son Malik Akkad, who they have been the champions of this series from 4 Beyond, and he admits they were a bit drunk with success because 4 did phenomenal numbers,
Yeah.
killed it in the box office. Why not? You gave him a good return of Michael Myers. So what do? You rush into production for 5. You kind of push the envelope in the worst way. You get you kind of, I wouldn't say you get a bargain director, because I'll never say that about people who are like, they've made it this far and they've got a chance to direct movies. I think that they have, for some way, somehow made it an impact somewhere. But you get a rushed project that was going to be shot, edited, finished, post-production, and put out in the same year. And I'm not even going to say, like, maybe 4 or 5 months or so. It was a quick turnaround and just was not going to be good.
Right.
And nothing is going to be good when you're going to rush it like that. So
No, the script wasn't even close to being completed before they started filming. They were filming this thing and they didn't even know where the story was going. They're obviously, we come to the Men in Black at this point, but they're putting things in this film that make no sense, and we don't know why. And they're just continuing to film, and a lot of the crew didn't even know what was going on. They're like, I don't know, we're filming this today.
Well, sure.
They're trying to put this story together, and you can tell in the movie. But what's cool is we go back to Tina. I just want to go back to Tina.
Let's go back to Tina. Why not? She's awesome.
She's awesome, but it's because she's so full of life. She loves Jamie. She loves her friend Rachel at this point. And she's just so full of energy, and she's untouched by Michael. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
She understands that there's trauma, but she's so caring and so energetic. So we automatically love her. But there's these moments of like, she's naive, but it's almost like she knows what she's going into half the time.
I think there's a sense of how she's playing it, because she's not a good girl.
Right.
She's a bit of a MTV, at the time, like, but she's got the big hair, she's got the denim, overdone clothes, like it's very 80s, it's very stylistic, and she's
got the bad boy boyfriend
who's also named Michael.
Yeah.
And she reveals that she's not a virgin.
She likes it in the car.
She likes to do it in the car. She's talking to her friend who missing her name, and I want to say like Sarah, but it's
Samantha.
Sam.
Yeah.
So Samantha is her other friend who she's talking through, who is going to probably tonight's the night that Samantha, Tina's friend, and her boyfriend Spitz,
yes,
played by my former boss.
What?
That's Matt Walker.
Holy shit.
Do you remember Matt? Yeah. He's awesome in it.
Wow.
He's Spitz. Saw him at a convention, and he's great. He's Spitz. And they're just girls talking about what you do in high school when you're made that decision. If you are in high school and you made that decision, not that you have to, but they have, and she's talking her through it. She's being there for her friend all the while. The oaf of Michael's character is just lumbering through the bright light, and there's something that it's disconnected. That's the best way I can put that whole sequence. It's so disconnected.
Yeah, and the end of the sequence is basically Tina turns around and yells out, "Mike!" And conveniently, her boyfriend comes crashing down in his car,
speeding by,
but like 2 blocks away,
very far,
and you can hear his voice. What?
Yeah,
and then he comes spinning around to come and hang out with Tina. So it's like she has a sixth sense of where he is. The time was just poorly like edited and shot the way it was done.
I think they were going for like a little bit of a joke. I think they were banking on Michael, not Michael Myers, the Michael boyfriend, which is, that's lazy. Name him something else. Like, I get it, what you're doing. Name him, if you want to be funny, name him Jason.
Well, yeah, and there's never like a clever play on this, like where you call Michael, or I guess
she calls him Michael when it's actually Michael Myers, because
yeah.
Well, we'll jump ahead because we don't really need to spend too much time on this one.
We really don't.
The movie it gets going. Rachel gets killed right away, and it's what?
There's just so many little notes I gotta make about this. The Myers house is in this, and it's a fucking castle. completed with a dungeon as a basement,
Yeah.
ceremonial attic,
Yeah.
the actual like castle tiers. I forget what they're called right now, but there's a window that Jamie sits in that is the most ridiculous like castle looking thing. It's nowhere close
To the original Myers
to the
house.
original Myers house at all. It's just the most ridiculous thing. Like we didn't even try.
You have a movie that decided that it was going to be, and I hate this, but it reeks of a cash grab.
Yeah.
And that sucks because guess what? It was the lowest performing movie in the entire franchise.
Yeah. Which is bizarre because 1 year prior was the
One of the
best.
biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best until. Yeah. Gross. Get out of here. All right. Never mind. We'll talk about that later.
But you know what's so funny is that the one of the movies with Michael Myers didn't even perform worse than the one that didn't have him. You know what I'm saying? It's the worst, and it had Michael. You have your rock star, and you shit the bed.
I talk about world building and certain things are okay. Tina in this terrible scene actually mentions they should just ban Halloween in this town. I thought that was one of the salvageable things out of this, like because especially when we go to Halloween 6, they should just ban it. We've had so much heartbreak in 10 years now, or 11 years of time. Like, and again, that's the thing about Tina. She speaks this truth. She has this like deep down level of this truth that she knows. And I don't know, if you really watch Tina in this movie and follow her through this, there's this like sadness to her, especially when, you know, Jamie's like losing her shit later on and she leaves Jamie.
I think Wendy Kaplan does an amazing job in this role. I don't know if that's more of a testament to the actor or they at least got the character right. But I think I know it you know, I do know what it is. I think it's 100% the actor.
It has to be.
It has to be because look, she took on a role that shouldn't be successful. It should be surface. It should be cannon fodder for the like, you know, Michael fodder. But she plays it. You're right. There is truth. There is sadness. There's a moment where she is in the house after Rachel has been killed, but Rachel has now been like removed. She's gonna then like, you know, hang out in Rachel's house while Rachel's gone, like look after Max, which is the dog.
Yeah.
And it's just there's this moment that Tina goes in there expecting to see Rachel, doesn't see her, and just like grabs a stuffed animal.
She
grabs a stuffed animal, just like curls up with it on a bed, and it's like, what's going through your mind? What is that? You know? And then when or she hears something, or Samantha comes to the house, it's like her facade goes on, who she's acting
exactly. She's kind of creeped out in the house. She hugs the teddy bear. Again, that's that like that emotional side that she shows, and like, which she knows something's going on or something's not right, and she feels it.
She either knows that something's going on, or she's carrying a lot of what's going on.
Exactly.
She's carrying what's going on with Jamie. She feels what's going on.
And she tries to be this light for these people that have had a lot of sadness, especially with Rachel and Jamie.
I think I've always liked Tina as a character because she reminds me so much of the brightness and the happiness and just like like you said, the ray of sunshine. She reminds me of my Aunt Sophia. Wow. It's just like she always would. She could be having like, you know, the most terrible, probably, you know, you wouldn't know it if she's going through something. But if she saw my brother or me and she was coming over, it was just the best day in the world. Right. And she just put that on for us. It's like there is something in Tina that I was able to kind of see my aunt in a lot. So I could see where. But you wonder in Tina, and it's shown. She's showing it. Is there something under?
Right.
And there obviously is.
Yeah.
There's something that she's either wrestling with or having to mask.
Right. And again, I kind of talked about the scene already, but we'll jump back to it. Is Jamie kind of loses her shit during the play, the Halloween.
Right. Yeah.
Loomis tells Tina, like, you need to stay. Like, you have to stay. And Tina's got tears in her eyes and screams at Loomis, like, don't fill her head with this crap. Like, she's a little girl. She's an 11-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm.
let her be a little girl, but she's like got tears in her eyes as she's being like dragging herself
so
away
good.
to go to the slaughter that she kind of knows is going to happen. You know what I
It's
mean?
almost like she's like, these are the things that are expected of me to do.
Right.
I have to be this party, not like life of the party sort of thing. It doesn't go without me. I don't think she necessarily feels that she wants to do anything for Michael, her boyfriend.
Right.
I don't think that but like, you could tell it's hurting her, and you could tell that there's so much going on with the character of Tina that's beneath the surface. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like she's pulled in so many different ways. And, you know, if there is one shining moment and bright light in this entire movie, it's the character of Tina and the portrayal by Wendy Kaplan.
Right. The quote for Tina is, "I'm never sensible if I can help it. He."
Yeah.
That's the main quote from the film, and it is so her.
And
It's funny because in this movie,
yeah.
there's nothing that is brilliantly written except Tina makes it look like it was written in just a brilliant, like one character just stood out so much in this film. But
I mean, yeah. So we
yeah,
we gushed about Tina, and if it's one thing that if it's one death in the whole movie, which Tina does die and she gets killed by Michael Myers himself, it's the one you feel is hers because there's a bit of Rachel in it. She goes down trying to protect Jamie, but she's no Rachel, you know? Like Rachel, she's no Rachel, but she's gonna do her best. And Jamie, think about Jamie's character, what she has to go through. Not only has her life been turned upside down since she's been born, but she's lost her real mom in Laurie Strode when she was a child. She stabbed her stepmom. Sunday, her dog was killed by Myers in Halloween 4, lest we forget. She had to go through a traumatic ordeal already. At this point, she doesn't know Rachel's dead. But Tina, basically, in her last effort to save Jamie from being, caught by Michael, throws herself onto him and is killed. And just like the last thing that Tina says right before her life expires, it's like the most broken. Is it Run?
Yeah.
I think it's Run. It's just like Run. And when I met Wendy Kaplan at the convention, I had her asked her for an autograph, and I told her it was like, it's the best part. It's the part that makes your blood and your blood pressure go like skyrocket. It gets your adrenaline pumping. The music kind of kicks up a notch. It's when Michael is in his car. Michael Myers is going after Billy, going after Jamie in the field, and Tina's trying to protect her. Tina gets to Billy, sees that he's okay, right? And hears that Jamie is still running, and Tina just yells, "Leave her alone!"
Yeah.
And just the music gets louder because it's just like it's. There's nothing you can do. First of all, you can't stop Michael. Now you can't stop Michael, who's like, what is it, a Charger? He's in a souped up car, just like going after Jamie. So that moment, I remember telling her, I was like, this one really, I guess, got me going. It was a big moment.
Yeah. To peel it back to where this film actually lies, we get Keystone Cops. Unfortunately, Sheriff Meeker takes a huge backseat in this film. And by Keystone Cops, I mean not only do we get two doofy sheriffs in the midsection of the movie after Rachel dies, or before Rachel dies.
Before Rachel dies,
we get clown music. There's a hit of clown music when these two sheriffs. There's no reason for the music whatsoever, other than the fact that it is a part of the soundtrack. Like, there's no radio or anything in the background. This is just a score for them, and it's
unnecessary.
It's so sad.
You wonder if it was a dig by a European director at American police officers. Who knows? But it didn't fit in the movie, and it was unnecessary, and it belittled their characters, and it had no place.
Right, and we don't get any appreciation for Meeker. He's barely in this.
Yeah,
and he's still the sheriff. He's still a part of this whole thing.
He's still leading the onslaught. He's still trying to coordinate, but it just, he seems to be one step behind. One step behind is, you barely see him. He's wrestling with the idea that, or with the fact that his daughter was killed.
Yeah.
But it's in a very more of an aggressive, snap at Loomis. The guy don't know, remember. Well, of course you do. Loomis kind of like, he's like, of course you remember, but like, you got to be motivated. It's like Meeker's like, Myers is dead. We shot him. I got other things to do.
Right.
And if I concentrate on him again, I'm going to remember that my daughter died.
Right.
I don't have a lot more else to say about this movie except the fact that like there's going to be the auxiliary characters die because they're being promiscuous. So that whole idea is flirted with.
Right.
So Spitz, dies. Sorry,
Yeah.
Matt Walker.
Yeah, Spitz and Sam dying is such, again, like it feels like a Friday the 13th ripoff. It's in a barn,
Yeah.
which is fine, but Myers also uses a pitchfork and
A sickle.
a sickle,
Yeah.
and there's hay and barn, and it just looks like it's straight out of a Friday the 13th movie. The way he stalks the promiscuous couple,
Yeah.
the way he kills, there's nothing about it that feels Michael to me.
I think there's only one thing that is clever is him impersonating the boyfriend.
Yeah, the playfulness.
Yeah,
comes back.
so Michael Myers kills Michael the boyfriend
Mm.
while they're trying to like load up booze for tonight. Kills him with a garden rake,
Yes.
three-pronged. So endless tools at his disposal. Very farm oriented, so like whatever, I guess,
Sure.
the farming of the autumn season, but just forks him in the forehead and gets rid of him. But at one point, Tina gave Michael a mask, and it's like I think it's called a hobo mask. It's
Okay.
just like
Is it
brute.
called-
Brute. It's
not
called a brute.
The Mountain Man.
It's not. No, it's called. Isn't that the name? Is that what the parrot does? It's called the Brute mask. I know because the awesome dudes at Trick or Treat Studios make that mask.
Oh, of course
It's
they do.
really cool. But it's just like,
Yeah. It's like the bitter beer face, just a little older. Remember
yes,
that?
the bitter beer face. He's got like the big chin, and all he needs is the cigar. Anyway,
Yeah.
when Michael Myers goes, he hijacks the car
Mm.
to go pick up Tina. I guess he knew that they had plans.
Well, he was spying on him, right?
Right, yeah. So
He's right behind there.
he's a bit of an oaf as a spire, but he's a wolf in ears. He can
Yeah.
hear
Yeah.
everything. So he goes to pick up Tina, and she's in her French-made Halloween costume.
Yeah.
And Michael Myers has ditched the Halloween mask and put on the Brute mask.
And the jacket, right?
And, yeah,
He's
and
got a
everything.
jacket on.
So yeah, this is when Jamie has her meltdown that you were alluding to, because she can see through Michael that he is with Tina, so
Right.
she's losing it. She's scared to death because she's like, Tina's gonna die.
Mhm.
And so she's trying to tell Loomis, and she's trying to tell the officers, but she's mute. So she can't say anything. So they stop at a gas station, and outside the gas station is a billboard. It says Giant Cookie Woman, and there's 2 cookies over her breasts. And that's the funniest part of the whole movie, is that there's this big moment. There's this big moment in there. She's trying to tell the authorities that she's at this gas station with a giant cookie woman, right? And then she's like saying it, and Billy, the stuttering kid, is the only one that can make her out. What? So he's like, store. So Loomis is like, he's like, what's the store? What do they sell there?
Jamie's doing the same thing too,
Yeah,
trying
she's
to
like,
describe the fact that the cookies are over her breast.
And then Billy's like, cookie woman. And what's funny is because Loomis goes, cookie woman? And the deputy's like, oh, I know where that shit is. Get down to 7th and Maple right now. He's like, yeah, I know where the big cookie woman is.
The other funny part about this is Tina's in the car with him, and she gives him a kiss because it's her boyfriend, she thinks.
Right.
And what's cool, again, because Tina kind of pulls that veil down, is, ooh, this is creepy.
Right.
That felt creepy or something like that.
And it's all, they play up that creepiness factor because you could see the eyes of
Yeah, and
Don
he's-
Shanks kind of.
Yeah, he's got the crazy
just-
shark eyes going on.
He does. So, you know,
and another thing is that Tina's, again, that high energy, and she's kind of got a whiny, annoying voice, but in like a loving way.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend's a dick. But also Michael, it seems like he just gets fucking annoyed
Yeah.
because he drives right past the gas station. Remember?
Yeah, she's like, stop at the gas station. I want to get cigarettes. No, he actually floors it. He's like, no, we're leaving. Stop the goddamn car. I want a pack of cigarettes.
He slams on the brakes so hard, and like a pissed off boyfriend goes in reverse.
In reverse, down like a one-way. Yeah.
And parks in front of it. And it's just like, I'm fucking over it. And ditches her when the cops come.
Yeah, the cops come. He's like, oh, shit, I'm out.
Yeah, fuck it. It just like the way the scene plays is like a pissed off boyfriend's like, I'm fucking over this chick. I'm done. That's the way it played out to me.
I wish, she gets saved by the cops, and you're like, oh, she's gonna be fine. But of course, like Lance, you mentioned, she decides, this is not true. You know, stop filling her head with that boogeyman stuff. I'm gonna go to the party where Michael's waiting for her. So Jamie decides, I gotta go help myself. And Billy says, you don't know how to get there, but I do. And there they go to the Tower Farm. They're gonna Billy and Jamie, two little kids, to go save Tina, and that's where they run into Michael. Like we talked about, the car chase scene. Samantha dies, Spitz dies, the two Keystone cops get very killed, and then Tina dies in the field, like we said. She's trying to save Jamie.
Yeah.
But what happens? We're starting to, if we haven't before, jump the shark tremendously. It's about Michael is drawn to his home. Loomis is already pretty much off the reservation. He's crazy at this point, to the sense of like, I have to stop Michael at all costs. What does he want? Jamie. What does he want her? Anytime. So he's like, go to he just screams it, in the field. He tells Michael, go to your home. She'll be waiting for you.
Right.
It's like a trap, right? Well, what happens? They go to the house. They set up the trap with every police, SWAT team, sheriff, and everyone's like, Meeker is overdoing it. Admittedly, he's on the microphone. He's like, checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2. How's it going? Checkpoint 3, and everyone's like, everything. I'll roger there. Roger.
Yeah,
and
the
then
most radio static you could fucking have in a movie.
So Loomis is like, dude, we can't see you, but we can sure hear you. Yeah. And then Meeker's like, all right, Loomis, shut up. I'm running this outfit. All right, everybody, get off the radios. But then Michael's like, I'm obviously not going to show up because he sees everybody's there. So what does he do? He does a bit of a oop-de-oop, goes to the clinic and creates a disturbance over there so that all the cops,
like 20,
all the
20
cops
officers
flood to the school. Who do they leave? They leave Jamie and Sam Loomis. And Charlie, the deputy. Oh, and one car outside, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
There's one car.
Because that's the car that's going to take him. So Charlie is played by the guy who plays Roger Predactor in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
And that's all you can see.
And that's really all you could see. Charlie is the guy who is directly near Jamie, who's been propped in front of the window to entice Michael to come into the house.
Right.
He's just a good guy. You could tell this is like,
the Myers Castle.
On the other side of the moat, past the drawbridge, there's Jamie. But Loomis knows. As soon as all the cops leave, it gets eerily silent, and Loomis says, "Now you'll come, won't you, Michael?" Throws the huge ass radio. That radio's humongous. He just throws it. And Charlie is ready to take Jamie. He's like, "Me and my partner will give you a lift back to the city, or back to the station."
Nicest guy in the world.
Nice. Charlie. I love Charlie.
Charlie, Walter, Mountain Man. They're all nice guys.
Yeah. Meant their ends unceremoniously. But what happens? Charlie turns around, sees Loomis is entering the room and locking the door behind her.
Oh.
And he's like, "Dr. Loomis, what the hell are you doing?" and Loomis says, he's like, "We're not going anywhere." And Charlie says, "You have 10 seconds or I think it's 5 seconds to give me that key before I take it from you." Then you hear the deputy outside dying a bloody death because Michael has not only driven a stolen police car to get there, rams the deputy, and then goes in and just shoves his face into the steering wheel over and over again. You hear him dying, and Charlie's like, "I gotta call Meeker." He's about to call Meeker, and I told you that Loomis has lost it. Because he does. He gets the walkie and breaks it on the wall. And Charlie's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I've done all this just to say this part. One of the lines that as a kid scared the ever living shit out of me, because I've always told you, if you say the name Michael Myers right, it can be very, very scary. So Loomis pulls out his gun, points it at Charlie's face and says, Charlie, Michael Myers is outside. I shit my pants. I did. I lost it right then and there as a kid watching this shit. I'm like, you want to know why? Because if somebody came into my house and told me that Michael Myers was outside, I wouldn't like it.
You're done.
I'd be so scared. I couldn't move.
Yeah. Because you don't know where he's going to end up. You don't know where he's going to be. This is obviously not Blockhead Michael Myers that we're talking about. We're talking about the rest of the series. That Michael Myers that we saw in the first movie where we're looking outside and seeing him watching us. Yeah. That's the Myers that we're terrified of and thinking about in that line.
I'll go as far as to say if I ran into Don Shanks as Michael Myers, I'd be terrified. First of all, he's already mad, right? Because he has to wear that mask.
And because you call him Blockhead.
You're doing it on purpose. Okay. I got it. At this point, I got it. Okay.
And now you're trying to like suck up to him so he doesn't come after you, but I really hope
look, if Don Shanks wants to come at me, what's the address here? No, anyway, so we go to the final part of the act, and again, did we totally bury the lead? Have we not mentioned what stupid Easter egg and red herring that they introduced? The Man in Black.
Yeah, well, I kind of mentioned him, but
so
we haven't talked about the ceremony in the attic and all that kind of stuff. We'll get there.
I mean, look, they introduced this character early on who's a piece of shit because I'm tired of these horror movie directors and writers getting these emotions from the viewers by being mean to dogs. I hate it. Stop killing dogs and stop being mean to them. Okay?
Yeah.
This Man in Black gets off a Greyhound bus. And first thing he does, he kicks the dog, and the dog whimpers. I'm like, you know what, dude? Come over. Come on. Let's go. Because if you want to kick a dog, kick me instead. I'll kick your ass. How's that? Because all I imagine is my dog Loomis, and nobody better touch him in this life.
I know. I think Charles in the same way. Yeah.
So anyway, this Man in Black is just mysteriously walking around Haddonfield. He's got these silver pointed boots, all in black. He smokes. He's got a black hat, a fedora, all trench coat. We say the Man in Black because that's all we know. It's all we know.
He just kind of shows up.
Do you want to know if you ask the director and or writer what they thought of the Man in Black or what he was? You know what they say?
What? Yeah. Oh yeah, I knew that. I was like, did they come up with some other bullshit? There's so many things that we've learned in the commentaries that's like, wait, you didn't say that 10 years ago. You didn't say that 20 years ago.
Right.
Like the story continues to change about all the shit behind the scenes. So yeah, the Man in Black.
They had no idea.
From what I've read and heard on commentaries that COD basically like, I don't know, there's polls. Put this dude in black. We'll figure it out in the next film.
Right. And it was also played by Don Shanks because Don Shanks said, from what I heard, he was supposed to be Michael Myers' twin brother. I'm not even joking. That's what he says. And I'm like, somehow that probably wouldn't have been the worst idea that y'all came up with.
You got a big family. I mean, why not?
Why not? So anyway, it leads into the final face-off.
Final countdown.
It is. Michael is being lured. Well, after he chases after Jamie throughout the house, the laundry chute scene, which is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's actually a air conditioned duct. Mm-hmm. You know, so that was pretty.
It's a real one.
Yeah,
she's really in there.
She, again, cannot gush more about the presence of a young actor.
Did you know that they use a real knife?
Yes.
Oh God,
I do.
This poor little girl is about what?
She's 11 at this point.
So, yeah, 11 years old, and this real knife is being shoved into the air duct that she is in.
Yeah,
and it barely misses her.
Yeah, there was one something that got cut. He's supposed to make contact with her. He does. He stabs her fake leg, right? Mm-hmm. And the blood gushes out, so that when she gets out, if you see that she's got a bloody leg, but it got cut out. They said it was too much because you can't stab a kid. You can have a mask eat their face and a rattlesnake come out of it, but you can't stab a kid.
Right.
So she has the back and forth with Michael. She's about to escape him once again, and Loomis catches her and now is using her as bait to come. He's like, "You want her?" And as you're watching this, you're like, "Why? why are you doing this, Dr. Loomis? Why are you being a bad guy now? You know, it's weird. It's weird to see him that way. So he's basically using Jamie as bait to lure Michael into this den where he's set up a huge, heavy chain net to capture Michael.
Sure.
Captures him. Then Loomis puts Jamie down, shoots Michael 4 times or 3 times with a dart gun, because let's not kill him. Let's subdue him. We have to understand him. And then he gets a 2x4, beats the shit out of Michael, yelling die the whole time. And it's presumed that Loomis has the heart attack right there with him on top of him, because you don't see him at the police station.
Right.
So the final shot of that.
The heart attack or stroke?
Either.
In 6, they call it a stroke, I believe.
Yeah, so he's too old to be doing that anyway.
Right,
and he's just hitting him over and over with the...
Okay, so police station.
We get to the police station. Michael is kneeling down with the mask still on. How do you lock somebody up and put him in a cell with a mask still on? Who did it?
Meeks would have taken it off.
Huh?
Meeker.
Meeker's taking the day off. He's like...
He's there, but this is not his movie.
He's checked out. No.
Movie.
Both Star just signed a check. I mean, they signed the check for him and he cashed it. It's fine. It's fine.
Fine. Myers has his mask on in a jail cell with handcuffs on. Did you notice?
Oh yeah.
He starts playing with the chain.
Yes, Michael Myers is the evil incarnate. The shape, the boogeyman has been reduced to this prisoner, handcuffed, kneeling down, like looking up at the lights, like, oh, they got me. And then they do another shot where they're leaving, and he's just like,
he's playing
with the chain.
It's not even handcuffs. It's like shackles from his castle. Like he has a chain like to the. I don't understand it at all. He's on his knees. He's got his mask on. It's the dumbest fucking shot of the movie.
It's so you have reduced one of the scariest boogeyman slashing monsters in horror history. You've reduced him to a common prisoner just playing with the chain. So all is well. I was going to say Beaker. Ben Meeker tells Jamie it is over. He's going to be transferred to a maximum security where he'll spend the rest of his days until he dies. So they take Jamie out, but there's mayhem because you see the man in black walk into the station. There's a shootout to be heard. Jamie wanders back into the station to see that all the cops have been shot and the explosion is heard because Michael's cell has been blasted open and he's nowhere to be found, with Jamie just saying no. And the movie ends.
And that's Halloween 5.
That is Halloween 5.
I mean, we said a lot more than I think, and mostly it was gushing about Tina.
Yeah.
But we said a lot more than...
I didn't expect us to go into that thing about Tina, but like, yeah, that is... Give credit where it's due. Wendy Kaplan does a phenomenal job. I think they handcuffed one of their other strong stars in Danielle Harris, and I don't think that I think at this point Donald Pleasance was just, for lack of a better term, handcuffed to the project. He's like, I'll just do it.
Loyal. He's very loyal.
Loyal to a T.
Yeah.
He didn't give a lot to expand on the mythos of Dr. Loomis, but he was able to go nuts. He was able to finally crack. He finally cracked.
Yeah, cracked.
And I would too. If I've spent 78 to 89, when did this movie come out? 89, right? The next year.
Yeah.
So it's like 10, 11 years searching and trying to kill somebody and they don't die. I'm done, man. I'm going to catch you with in your chain in your dungeon castle.
And at this point, people are still saying, nah. Come on, Loomis.
I know.
He's gone. He's locked away.
So I would lose it too. But yeah, Halloween 5, not the strongest. Quite frankly, one of the worst movies in the Halloween franchise, but was released, made some money, and it's easy to talk shit as a fan, which is what we are first. But as a person who respects creativity and actors putting it all on the line.
Yeah.
I applaud everybody who was involved in this, especially Don Shanks, who I love and I never called a blockhead.
You did, and you ruined it.
I didn't.
Because this movie as a kid, I was like, I don't know. It's Jamie's back.
Come on.
As a kid, I didn't care. It was 4 and 5 were the same movie to me.
Well, they were packaged together all the time.
Right. So as a kid, but as an adult, I'm like, fucking Blockhead, man.
It's
Blockhead
bad.
Shanks.
But
All right, what's your rating?
oof. This one gets a 1.
A 1.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 2 just because Tina, Daniel Harris, and my nostalgia, I guess. But yeah, I think that's about it. Anything else to say about the film?
I think this film gave us what should have been a launching career for Wendy Kaplan as a very, very talented actor. And, it gave us more Daniel Harris. And unfortunately, we're dwindling down to the appearances of the very favorite mainstay of the Halloween franchise, which Donald Pleasance. This would be his second to last appearance in a Halloween film.
Unfortunately, that's true.
Yeah.
And it kind of falls apart from there. So,
Yeah. The Revenge of Michael Myers. Yeah, he got us good.
okay. I guess on that note, join Slasher's Paradise next time for Halloween 666.
The Curse of Michael Myers.
We'll talk about the title because that was not supposed to be the title.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. See you guys next time. Bye. Peace. Whatever.